I'm an elf. Gonna do elfy hair. I'm going to show you how to attach elf ears. So just prosthetic latex elf ears. I wore mine at Dragon Con for the first time ever wearing ears at Dragon Con this past year, and everyone asked me if they were real. People actually thought they were my real ears. So I think I did an okay job, and I would like to share with you guys how I did it. I bought mine from Aerodani Studios. Fantastic ears. I totally recommend them. They have so many different shapes. These are the Moon Elf shapes if you end up liking them. And they were the colorless ones, and I'll talk more about that later. So let's get started. Okay, so as you can see, these are colored very similar to my skin coloring. This company has 3 different colors, fair, medium, and dark, I believe is what they call them, but people aren't 3 colors, so I actually accidentally bought the colorless ones, which ended up being the best mistake I've ever made. So what I did, they were very clear latex when they arrived, and so what I did is I took a color that is obviously not really going to match my face color. It's a little bit darker, so it matches more of my shoulder, because when sunlight hits you, it hits bridge of the nose, cheekbones, ears, and shoulders. So it'll be a darker color than, I guess, your normal skin color. You're looking at me really weird. Pick a color that matches your maybe summer skin color or just a tan part. Me, it's my shoulders, so I picked a color closer to my shoulder. I actually painted that all over this, so like this, and just rubbed it all over there. I'll put it on my hand so you can see kind of what it ended up being like. Okay, so as you can see, that's darker than the back of my hand. So after I did that, I took a bronzer, so right here, or a brown eyeshadow, or whatever you have that's just a darker color. A matte would be better than a shimmery one, just because ear shadows don't really have sparkles in them traditionally, so we're just going to say that. So what I did is I would take a fluffy brush, just because for me they're easier to work with. Take whatever you want to use. A paintbrush even works if you don't have makeup brushes. And I would just take that color and I put it into the creases here, here, and here, just to add more dimension. And I'll show you on my hand what that ends up looking like. You can see that darker bit right there, and that was just to fill in these different shapes. And if you're like me, if you go running or you've had some drinks, your ears turn red, kind of like your cheeks do, kind of like your shoulders do. So I actually put a little bit of blush right at the edge, so right here where I guess sunburn would happen. I just took a pink blush. It wasn't this exact color, but it doesn't need to be dark, clearly, because if you had it too red, that might look a little weird. So I just took a big fluffy brush into the pink and dusted that there too. And I'll show you kind of on my hand again. Since these are already painted, I should have gotten some unpainted ones again. To show you what a mild blush I put, which is so mild, right there. All right, also for positioning, before you glue them on, as you can see my ear, this, I guess, curvature is very pronounced, very wide. I don't know if everybody else's is. I don't really spend a lot of time looking at ears, to be honest. But if I just put this on willy-nilly, it covers up a lot of that. And that's going to mess with the acoustics that my ears have, my natural acoustics that I'm used to. So there will be a lot of echoes. It'll be kind of annoying. So what I did is I just lifted them up and had this line follow that line on my ear. And then I glued it down there. You can't really see what I'm doing. There we go. Glued it right there. The acoustics shouldn't change. It'll glue on kind of like this. The only problem with that, they're really comfortable. You completely forget they're on. But when somebody touches right here, or if your hair gets a little change, I don't know. It just sounds like there's like the rustling of garbage bags. It's really weird. Totally worth it though, because these are like really fun. But yeah, so those are my tips with painting and positioning. And I'll show you how to attach them, kind of like this one. It's still drying though. I'll show you how to do that in a second. Okay, so to attach them, I actually use Spirit Gum, and the instructions on these ears actually say do not use Spirit Gum remover on them, which totally makes sense. You can break down the latex. So if you want them to last long, don't use Spirit Gum remover. It's not too gluey. It should stay all day, but it should also be pretty easy to remove. As you can see though, I have my hair very much piled on top of my head. It's maybe even best if you're wearing a wig later to put the wig cap on first, just to get your hair out of the way, because the latex I'll be using later, it'll stick to your hair. So just try not to get it everywhere. All right, so what I like to do is I like to position it over top of my ear and know where I need to glue it. So probably some here, and I actually like to follow more of the curves of my ears and maybe glue in right here as well. So I'm going to do that and I'll get back to you. Okay, as you can see, I have it attached, but there's this big gap and there's this big gap. The website for these ears, I'm following them a lot because I had never done it before, so obviously their instructions were very helpful. They said an ear cuff and your hair in front works fine. However, for the costume I was wearing, there were no ear cuffs, and the hair was actually tucked behind the ears, so I couldn't really afford that easy cover up. So what I did was I used liquid latex. This is a huge amount. Don't ask why I have it. It's ridiculous. So what I do, stop laughing at me. What I like to do is take a Q-tip and actually just dip a little bit in the liquid latex. It's like, it's screwed. Okay, that's one bad thing. It dries pretty quickly. Okay, so as you can see, I have just the littlest bit on there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to sweep over this gap and make sure I fill it in. Okay, as you can see. Okay. And this liquid latex actually dries to a more skin color and nude. Some liquid latex will dry clear. That would work just as well. Well, it's going to put it right here. I'll probably end up going over that one a second time because that edge is a little bit more obvious. And I will get back to you when this dries. As you can see, this is it mostly dried. There's kind of no seams visible, which is awesome. I love it. You can actually have your hair back behind your ears with them still looking natural. Now, if you'd like to do a further step, I don't generally do this because for me it usually works out just fine, is you can take some of your foundation and actually mix it with the darker color of the ears and sort of blend that together right there. Like, I don't know, use a makeup brush, maybe swipe some of this on there along with some of your lighter color and just stipple it on top. That's a good way to blend it even more than it is already, especially if the latex you bought maybe isn't the right color of your skin, because I know there's not one shade of nude. I get that. I totally get that. So every once in a while, that's not good. It does dry clear sometimes though, depending on which one you buy. Yet again, this is not the clear kind. So if you do that, feel free to put some makeup over it. I generally don't, just because the colors I have work out for me. So do you. You can see that it kind of looks like a real ear. It's got the same curvature as my other ear, my not elf ear. And it'll be on there pretty solidly, so you can tug on it and it's not going to go anywhere. And so yeah, that's how to put on an elf ear. Okay, so now that you have colored them if you needed to, attached them, let them dry, and gotten your crazy elf hair on, and hopefully the rest of your makeup, I'm going to show you how to take them off at the end of the day. So when you're like dead tired because you've been partying at a con all day or Halloween, some intense partying, you don't have to be crazy sober to do this. Really easy to take off. Do not use Spirit Gum remover. It'll ruin the latex. So if you want them for one night, you can use Spirit Gum remover. I wouldn't though, because I love these. I think they turned out great. I'm really happy with my purchase. But here's what you gotta do. Grab the tip and just kind of pull. And they're off. Now you might have to clean up a little bit of latex, like right around your sideburns, or right there. Wow, I just got some. Oh, didn't dry totally, I guess, underneath. But you know, it's just an easy cleanup. It shouldn't hurt you. There's a little bit of a tugging. But this is why I said, have your hair out of the way when you do it. Because if you get your hair caught in that latex, oh, poor child. I'm so sorry. Goodbye hair. But other than that, pretty easy. As you can see, the little latex pieces are still on here. But again, easy fix. It just pulls right off of the prosthetic. And now they're clean and ready to use for the next awesome time you need to be an elf. All right. Thanks. I'm too stupid. You know that loveless thing going on that elves like to do. Apparently they don't know how to put their sideburns up. But whatever, you know. Sideburns. Pretty fun to do.